caveats. There's no equivocation. There's no exceptions. It's an absolute term, total, complete. So we were free from birth because God's will was established upon the earth. That is the world of tomorrow. That is what we need to ready our hearts, minds, spirits, souls, and bodies for. Okay, I need to, because I'm just like every other human being on the face of the earth. And we're unique. We're distinct from all the other creatures. Of no use for money at all. Okay, if you offered any creature $10 or $1 billion, okay, or a bite when it's hungry of its favorite food or least favorite food, it doesn't even matter. Okay, what's it going to take? What's it going to take? We all know the answer to that. Every single creature except human beings. You see how unique, you see how distinct we are from the other animals? We're made in the image and likeness of God. We've got big shoes to fill. We've got a big responsibility. And we will answer for it. There will be a day of reckoning, Judgment Day. And we will give an explanation for our belief system or lack thereof. Okay, and if it doesn't hold water, there's only two places we can go from here, up or down. Okay, and I want people to be found worthy and deserving of inheriting a better world. That's what I'm after. I want them to be God's friend, genuine, sincere, loyal friend to the bitter end, to get it, to simply be born again in that sense and get it. And say, I'm jumping this ship of fools. I'm on God's side. Yeah, and if he says he wants us to live in a world without any form of money, that's what I want. Okay, and that does make sense. I've got to be honest. I've got to be realistic. I've got to say, yeah, that's it. Because money is something we have never proven to be able to handle as human beings. Okay, every human being would take $10 or $1 billion over a bite of its favorite food. Okay, every one of us. Of course. What fool, what idiot, what liar would not do that, would not say, I love money. And here's why, duh. So you think God doesn't understand all these dynamics that we're all dealing with? This pressure, this burden, this duress that we're all under as human beings? It's a real pain in the behind. And I want to be free. That's what I'm after here. I want to be free. And in order for me to be free, I've got to seek your freedom and his freedom, her freedom, all of our freedom, so that we know whatever we're doing at any time and every day, it's exactly what we want to do because it's our prerogative as God's children, his property. And that's the only one we're really answerable to at the end of the day. But we're free. We're all born. We split the resources, let's say, the planet. You get your shares and this and that. The whole thing becomes stupid, meaningless. We've divvied out in money, coupons, certificates. So we're all, it's established, multi-billionaires. So, stalemate, right? There's no purpose. There's no reason to have money anymore if we're all born rich. I mean, people say, how would it work? What if there's a shortage of this or that? Everybody wants a new Corvette or a Hummer or, so how do you divvy stuff out if it's not selective and privileged and exclusive, right? I understand, but there's solutions. I mean, you could say, well, you could, the fairest thing would do rationing. And then the next thing would be a lottery. Let's say you got 1,000 people that are after a new Maserati or whatever, Lamborghini, whatever, Ferrari, okay? And you go into a lottery. That's a fair way. So there's only 100 cars, 1,000 people want them, so 10 out of the 100 get it. And then we build more, and then we say, okay, there's a real demand for this or that item, these Rolex watches or, jet airplanes or sailboats. Remember, we could share a lot of this stuff. You understand? We could have like shops. Hey, look, I'm tired of my Rolex. Put it up. And so, I really like that watch. And a few years, I'm bored with it. Yeah, put it back. Hey, same thing. We could have houses coming out our ears all over the freaking planet. All humanity free. Can you imagine that? That's what our parents want for us. God Almighty. That's our parents. That's what makes perfect sense. And it could work. It could work just fine. Because we have the ability to imagine it working. And that's a first step to finding that reality, to actualizing that reality. It's within our means if we turn to God for help and guidance. And we need to unify. These people want us balkanized. They want us divided. The people at the top. Remember the really evil men at the top of the perverted pyramid of power I'm talking about. Yeah, they're in the halls of Congress and the Senate, the executive branch sometimes. I don't believe Trump's one of them. That's why they hate him. He's an outsider. He's a renegade. Okay, he's not an establishmentarian. I have no regard for the fact that he's a multi-billionaire. That's a turnoff. And I hate to think he made it off Section 8 housing and, kicking little old ladies out of their house and the old Carlton Sheets and Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, all that kind of crap. Investors picking the low hanging fruit, dashing the hopes and dreams of some struggling young couple hoping to realize the American dream of home ownership. I hate all that stuff. I'm pro ownership. Okay, absolute ownership. No property taxes either. That's got to go. That's forced, coerced to pay into this bad religion. Okay, the whole thing is a bad religion. Okay, we need our money to go up in worth. That's what we need. Everybody recognized as being valuable to society. I don't hold it against anybody to have a good job, a good career, a good education. I'm all for all those things, but people should be doing strictly what they want. Money should not be an incentive at all for no matter what you do in society. This is a thus saith the Lord relationship I'm talking about here. You want to get straight, you want to get right with God? Well, remember, there's certain very definite aspects to his character and personality, and one of them is he's an egalitarian. Okay, and that's where I'm at. It keeps everything so simple. You see, because when you say, hey, I'm an egalitarian, because when somebody accuses you of being a racist or you're anti-Semitic or something, you can say no. Because by default position, if you're an egalitarian, you're automatically, you can't be a racist. That's just stupid. You're an egalitarian. You believe in equality. And the same with anti-Semitism. You say, no, don't say that. I can criticize anybody. It doesn't matter the color of their skin. It doesn't matter their religion or any other factor. Okay? Remember, it's humanity that's been through these horrible things like the Second World War and the Nazi death camps, concentration camps, and all that crap. It was all of us. They took gypsies, of which my mom, okay, on her side, that's one of the reasons I think they got the hell out of Dalmatia, which was a part of Croatia, an island off the coast there. But you know what? I mean, she had that going on. So they were picking on poor people. They were picking on the Seventh-day Adventists. This woman, Ellen White, was very instrumental in that church. And if you read a great book from that she put out called The Steps to Christ, it's just, I loved her writings. It was so easy to read and pleasant. And so she was so astute in what she did and so simple. It was like childlike ability. You could understand her writing was childlike. So a kid can understand it. So it was very fun, easy to read, comforting, encouraging, uplifting, positive. So it helped bring the spirit, of God into your life, the spirit of truth. But they were after those people because I think that was something when the Pope was kissing Hitler's ring or Hitler kissing the Pope's ring, because the Catholic Church, they hated the Seventh-day Adventists because they were saying, hey, well, look, this is the Antichrist. Whatever the Pope du jour is, that's the Antichrist. So I think that's what that was all about, was some deal. You got to get rid of these Seventh-day Adventists. They're evil people because they say that, hey, they're exposing the Pope as the Antichrist. But if people look at the word anti, okay, it's an archaic term. It goes way back in history. And it used to mean at one time, the Seventh-day Adventists kept the record. Okay, they believe they're the remnant church. And the record shows that it meant substitute or stand in. So that's a perfect description of the Pope, a stand in for Christ. Not the true Christ, so it's a substitute. It's an antichrist. So it's very apropos to call the Pope the Antichrist. It makes perfect sense. But you can understand why they hated him. So they were just taking arbitrary poor people, gypsies, Seventh-day Adventists, other Christians, and the Jews, of course, were part of that, right? But who were the Jews? I mean, it's supposed to be like a religion, right? Judaism. They practice Judaism. But a lot of people don't know, and they need to know that there's two kinds of Jews, very distinct two Jews. There's those that believe that Jesus is the Messiah, is the Christ, just like all the Christians. So the Seventh-day Adventists are like those Jews in that sense because they worship on the Sabbath. The true Sabbath is Saturday. The last day of the week is Saturday. The first day of the week is Sunday, as we all know. So that's the day that the Pope has gotten people to worship. He thought to change dates and times. That's all in the Bible. That's who the Antichrist description is. This idea that the day starts at midnight, that's all where that comes from. The Roman Catholic authorities, okay? Because traditionally for ages it was from sundown to sundown. One day starts at sundown, and one day ends at sundown. That's the way it works. So it was a seamless transition from one day to the next.